Synth Drones. Today we're going to be talking about why Behringer is going to win the synth wars. Hi, I'm Pure Ambient Drone, and this is my channel where I talk about synthesizers. Hit the subscribe button and tap the bell so you can keep up with all of my synth adventures. And please support me over at patreon.com/Pure Ambient Drone. Don't forget about my Facebook page, or group I should say, which is Synth Drones. All of these links are going to be in the description of this video, along with a comment that I will pin. Behringer, I believe, is going to win the synth war. Somebody is going to get knocked out of the game or get beat up pretty darn bad, and it's not going to be Behringer. Now, I remember when Behringer came out with the DeepMind 12, everybody laughed. Everybody giggled. Everybody said, Behringer making an analog synthesizer? Well, I think it's Behringer that's laughing now. And the reason why I say this is because I have been a Behringer fan from the day one that I got my hands on the DeepMind 12. In fact, when I saw the specs of the DeepMind 12 and I saw the preliminary videos of the DM12, I was already excited because I knew that this was a game changer. If you guys don't own, anyone listening, watching this video, don't own a DM12, they are going in some parts brand new for $699, a 12-voice analog poly for $699. That's unbelievable. Grab one. That is my big suggestion for you guys. Grab a DeepMind 12. Keep it, love it, nourish it, hold it dearly. You'll be happy and you'll thank me for it when you're old and gray. Okay, with that out of the way, the reason why I think Behringer is going to win the synth wars, and I don't know, are we in a synth war? We could be. There's a lot of synthesizers on the market right now, and I see a lot of companies trying to kind of copy what Behringer is doing marketing-wise. Now, this week, Korg announced a $200 price drop on their Prologue 8. Okay? Why are they doing this? I have some guesses. I don't know for sure. If you have a guess, please share it with us in the comments below and we can discuss it. My guess is twofold. Okay? My first guess is Korg overextended themselves. They put out too many synthesizers with the last name log. Okay, you got the mini log, you got the mono log, you got the pro log, you got the mini log XD. Most consumers, when they see similar names, they kind of compare them to car models in many ways. Some people will say, well, I'll never own this model of Ford or Chrysler or such and such car again because I had a bad experience with that model, okay? Not the brand, don't get me wrong, okay? So, or they have one already and it's enough for them. In other words, well, you know, I have a Ford Mustang and I'm going to buy another Ford car, but I'm not going to make it a Mustang. So what I'm getting at is that when a consumer is looking at Korg products and all of the Korg products have the last name of log on it, they sometimes even subconsciously assume that the last name represents the features or lack of features. So if somebody owns a mini log per se, they may think that they're not going to get much more if they go for a Prologue, and that the price difference doesn't justify the features. And then vice versa, someone might say, well, I have a Prologue, what do I need a monologue for? Now, I happen to know that there are some big differences in all of their models, but their names don't reflect that. And in the consumer minds, people, we as human beings, we label things. That's why all of us have first and last names. Most of us do. Some celebrities don't, okay? Yeah. But with that being said, I think that they shot themselves in the foot by calling everything last name of log, right? Now, that's just my guess, and it can get confusing for a lot of newbies who are trying to break into the market, who want to see something in the Korg product line, and they go to the store and they play around with a couple of these things, and then they have all of these choices, and the only difference in the choices that a newbie can see, I hate to use that term, but some of that's new in the synthesis, the only difference they can see is the name and the price, or excuse me, is the price and not the name. That's going to confuse some people, and it might even confuse some people that have been in the game for a while. Some people might think, you know, I already have a Prolog 8. What do I need a Mini-Log for? And or a Mini-Log XD. So I guess that's part of the problem is that they put too many products out there with the last name, and they flooded the market too quickly with too many variations of almost what a lot of people would call the same synthesizer. Again, I know that there's differences in these synthesizers and in this product line, but there's not enough to incite people to want to go buy an additional synthesizer with the last name Log. So if I own a Mini-Log, and I do, I really don't want to buy a Mini-Log XD. I just don't want to do it. There's just not enough features there that incite me to want to go buy the next model up and spend more money and then try to unload my older synthesizer. And here, this is my next point. When these companies are making version 2, version 3, version 4, if that's what you want to call these synthesizers, they are actually devaluing their synthesizers. Now, Roland did this with the TR8. They came out with the TR8S. And it's quite a bit more money, okay? However, when they did this, they really packed in some awesome features in the TR8S. And if you need those features, you should upgrade to the TR8S. If you don't, and all you want is your basic 808, 909, and then you can expand it, you know, to the other drum kits, you can go with the TR8. Now, what happens, though, is that when Roland and Korg put out these version 2 of these boxes, it lowers the value of the others that came before them. And that makes consumers a little jittery. So we're talking about Korg and we're talking about Roland, but this video is really about Behringer. So I want to swing back that direction real quick and tell you what Behringer's doing. Behringer's coming out with the MS-101, okay? They're coming out with the UBXA, all right? 808s, 909s, right? I could buy every single one of those and not have the same box or a variation of the same box. The RD808 is not going to sound like the 909. The MS-101 is not going to sound like their UBXA. Their Model D isn't going to sound like their MS-101. Their DeepMind 12 isn't going to sound like any of those either. So I can go to Behringer and buy all of these synthesizers one after another and have a full studio capable of producing just about any electronica genre I want to make. All at a low price, okay? And I can keep all of my products from the same company. So if I need any support, you know, I can get them on the line and I can tell them what I'm working with. And I got all my products working with the same products from the same company, right? Sounds like a good deal to me. So if I'm a consumer and I'm seeing Behringer flooding the market with all of this variety, I'm going to want to spend my money in that direction rather than doing upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. I hate to buy stuff that's upgraded. I'd rather have them just kind of do a firmware upgrade. But there's some things you can't update via firmware because the machine isn't designed that way. Hardware is, you know, you're pretty much stuck with what you got out of the box, minus a few tweaks here and there. I get it, and I understand that. But rather than make a copy of the synthesizer you already developed, right? Like, you know, I guess what I'm saying is maybe Korg is cloning itself. Anybody ever think about that? That maybe Korg is cloning itself, right? Maybe Roland is cloning itself? Wait a minute. Roland is cloning itself. Have you guys thought about that? Because they are. And what's so bad about that is that these companies already sold us something, and they're trying to sell us a remake of the same item they already sold us before. I don't think a lot of people caught on to that until I just now pointed it out. And for those of you synth drones who did catch that before I pointed it out, kudos to you. But so you know, people can bash Behringer all they want for cloning. They're giving synth drones what they want, and they're doing it in the analog world. They're not going back and redoing it in the digital world, which is not what all synth drones want. Now, I'm not knocking digital technology by any means, because I have digital synthesizers and I think they sound fantastic. I also have analog synthesizers and I think they sound fantastic too. And I think the two sound totally different from one another. Not better, not worse, but just different. There's different characteristics, and I like to blend the two together in my tracks to give myself a unique texture of sound. But with that being said, when I buy a clone of a synthesizer and that original synthesizer was analog, then I want an analog clone of that synthesizer, not a digital clone. At least that's what I want. But anyways, I think that's why Behringer is winning, because they're not only cloning the old synthesizers, but they're also coming out with stuff of their own, like the Neutron. Now, I have not had a chance to play with the Neutron, all right? The local stores around here don't even carry them, as far as I know. I've been looking and haven't seen them. And I haven't had the time to actually get myself one of these and play with them. And with all of the gear that I have, I'm kind of like, you know, I'm trying to downsize as it is. That being said, though, I'm definitely going to be grabbing some of these Behringer clones that are coming out. The UBXA, you're mine, baby, because I am going to grab one of those as soon as I can get my hands on one. I'm really excited about the UBXA. I think that's the most exciting synth that Behringer's coming out with that they're cloning. I'm very excited about that one. So what they're doing is they're cloning these old synthesizers, but they're also making their other stuff like the Neutron, and they're innovating, okay? But when they're cloning these older synthesizers, they're trying to match them as perfect as they possibly can in order to give the consumer an exact replica of yesteryear's glory, if that makes any sense to all of you. But anyway, I rambled a little bit longer than I'm normally allowing myself to do. I want to thank you guys for listening and supporting my channel and supporting me over at patreon.com/pureambientdrone. Shameless plug. But yes, your support does mean a lot to me, and I appreciate all of you guys being civil here and leaving your comments and just telling us what you think. I don't have all the answers, and that's why I invite you guys to leave comments below and to subscribe to my button. And don't forget to tap that bell so that you can get notifications of all of my synth adventures. Until next time, keep calm and synth on.